This episode of Fixin Vixens is brought to you by the Church of Pod, Louisville, Kentucky's most inviting and inspiring podcast studio, available for public rental. When something breaks down in your home, do you think to yourself, I should be able to fix this myself? And then you turn around and hire a contractor instead? Well, you're not alone, but we've got the fix for your fears. The Fixin Vixens will empower you to take home matters in your own hands. Our hosts, Annie McMichael and Alex Bolton, have spent the last 8 years flipping more than 50 homes. They have all kinds of crafty solutions for your house or the ones you're trying to sell or rent. They hire contractors only when it makes sense. They can teach you how not to be taken advantage of. Better yet, they can personally show you firsthand how to fix things yourself. It's the most interactive podcast on home improvement for women, and men too. Without further ado, here are the Fixin Vixens, recording live from Louisville, Kentucky.
Up against the roses, outside of the window is where I long to be.
Hi, I'm Annie.
And I'm Alex.
And Alex, we've made it to episode 3.
Woo! I didn't know if we would or not.
Oh, we knew it.
So last week we covered curb appeal, and this week we are going inside the house and we're covering all things interior.
And joining us at the table, at this round table of women, square table of women, is Wendy Case.
Hi, guys. Nice to be here.
Hey, Wendy, thanks for joining us.
It's great to have you.
We're excited to have you on, Wendy, because you are a perfect example of proper execution on the interior of a flip.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I like Wendy's houses because they are always consistent. You feel good walking in the front door to walking out the back door, all the way through.
I appreciate that. Whenever I put together a project, I walk through and I have a concept of what I'm going to do right then and there before we even start the demo. So, and I work really hard to have it consistent.
I think that's one of the greatest things, too, that women bring to the table is having that end view. And I think that anyone who out there who feels that when they walk into a house should listen to that and should give it a shot.
Well, that's what we have termed the woman's touch.
Yes.
And I think we all three do that. And that's kind of what we bring to the table.
Yeah, women have that vision. They can see it.
And plus, we kind of care what it smells like and what it looks like. And
actually, Forbes magazine had a clip the other day that said something about women specializing in service-based industries, just how we excel in a service because we care so passionately about it.
Oh, I would totally agree with that. Yeah.
My projects are my babies.
Yeah. I still call them my houses. Every house that I have flipped or rented or had any part of, it's my house.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do the same thing.
Sometimes when we take down drywall, I like to write my name or something on a stud so the next person might find it several years down the road.
Never done that.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you should.
start.
Put your initials in there. Love you. I might say it. Turn your frown upside down because I'm sure they might be having one if they're reaching the studs. Yeah, hang in there.
It gets better.
It will get better.
So Wendy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I work for a private lender. I also flip properties and own an Airbnb and do rentals.
So for those of you that don't know what a private lender is, also known as a hard money lender, they make private loans to people based on the asset usually and not necessarily the borrower. So it's good for people who might be starting out flipping or have bad credit because they come in, value the house or property that you're wanting to borrow against, and they lend you a loan ratio based upon the value of the asset and less to do with your qualifications as a borrower. It's how a lot of people have gotten started in the flipping business. It's how I got started in the flipping business. I think actually
All three of us at this table have utilized that. All three.
yeah, it allows you to take on more projects because you have less of your personal leverage or your personal capital out.
And also, it makes you work faster and get that flip done quickly.
Yes, it does.
Well, yes. the loan is secured by the property. So like Alex said, we look at the asset, not necessarily the individual. And we can close within, 7 to 10 business days, whereas a commercial lender will take 3 to 4 weeks to do that. So
To
you can
6 to 9 weeks.
Yeah, even longer.
Yeah.
But that way you can buy the property quickly. You're outbidding other people.
And just for our listeners, a lot of times this is pretty interesting when you see people writing a bunch of cash offers, those We Buy houses, and you're like, how do they write so many cash offers? Are these people just millionaires? What they're doing is they're writing cash offers and using private money or hard money for the loans, so it's not actually cash. Cash is not cash anymore.
It's not their cash.
It's our money.
Yeah, it's
Exactly,
not their
exactly.
cash.
So I always find that interesting.
Yeah, and that's something that I didn't know before I started in this business and started flipping and realized I didn't have to go to the bank and go through all of that process.
Thanks to, all of the home improvement shows, flipping has really grown in popularity, and people are becoming more aware of how to find other sources of funding.
Someday I'd like to be a lender. That's actually,
It's good to be the bank.
I know. It is nice to be the. That's actually the end goal for a lot of flippers. I think that that's important too, because people are like, "Where do you retire? What's your end goal? Are you just going to keep flipping?" And I'm like, "No, I want to underwrite these loans and educate others." That's why they have the flipping conferences and why people educate others on flipping.
Mentorship is very important.
Yes. Yeah, because the lender wants you to succeed too.
Well,
Very much so.
That's
Yes.
right, because if the investor doesn't succeed, the lender doesn't succeed.
That's actually a great indicator of whether or not you're dealing with an honest lender. Is if they want you to succeed, you can feel it, you know it, you're dealing
If you
with
run into trouble, we'll help you.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll help you
And-
work through it, not just collect your interest payment.
or take
you,
the house
you actually
back.
hold people accountable too.
We do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what stage you should be at this stage. Where are you now?
Yes, we
So-
inspect the properties through the draw process. If it's taken over 3 months and we haven't heard from you, we'll reach out to you. Because like you said, we want you to succeed.
So we have had a subscriber submit a video using our Vidi to show us a trifling house. Just kidding.
Trifling. I think you really could call this a problem house.
Hi, ladies. I hope you can help me. This is my sister's house, and I'm helping her get it ready for sale. Now, if you enter from the front door, this first room that you see is pretty nice and inviting living space. Next to it is the dining room, which is also bright and cheery. The problem is that it doubles as the cat's living room, which leads into an issue that you definitely sense when you're going up the steps. This house has a distinctive odor. Upstairs are 2 rooms. This one is a pretty nice sized room with a painting of a mural and a built-in bookcase. And then there is a kitchenette, which would be great for rentals or Airbnb, but obviously needs some painting and some regular cleanup.
Wow.
I know what pops into my mind is the first thing that those people should probably do. I think that cleaning a house can basically be a flip. And I did that one time when it was my first flip with my own money, and I bought it for $38,000. I cleaned it with my brother for, I paid him about $500 and had about $300 in supplies, and sold it for $58,000, I want to say. And after realtors commissions and all that jazz, I netted $10,000, and it happened in under 30 days. And it was literally just a glorified cleaning.
That is nice. I've never heard that before.
Yes, it was pretty. I was very scared because it was my own money.
Well, it's a great example of what just cleaning,
Yeah.
basic cleaning can do.
Yes, I had a flip, and it was a duplex, and it was rented by a hoarder, and it was absolutely insane in that house. I think we used 5 dumpsters to clean
Wow.
that property out, but the result was amazing afterwards. It's one of my proudest moments. It was a great house.
How many is the most dumpsters you've
5
used? 5. Yeah, me too. I've
dumpsters,
used
yeah.
5. Haven't had to go above 5. Knock on.
Yeah. And that's on your one flip?
Yeah, that
Wow.
was on 6th Street.
Wow. Oh, that was a large property.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not finished, so I don't have my count yet. I'm still getting dumpsters.
We'll be back shortly with the Fixin' Vixen strategy for getting our listeners' problem house prettied up for sale. Alex swears by what she calls the 5 senses remedy and an alligator head. Seriously. But first, it's time to give a little thanks to one of our favorite supporters. If you've been personally injured, maybe it's a car or motorcycle or bike accident, or maybe even a dog bite, Murphy and Associates wants to help. Their attorneys are dedicated to protecting the rights of those who have been injured by negligence. Their goal is to help you succeed in your financial recovery, as well as your physical and emotional one. Want someone to stand up to an insurance company and build the best case possible for you? Then call Murphy and Associates today. You can learn more at LouisvilleFirm.com.
So one thing that I think is very helpful when helping people set their house up for sale is to basically try to appeal to all 5 senses: sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch. So let's start with sight.
Well, I think it's very important when you first open that door and walk into a house that it's appealing and that your buyer can visualize living there.
I think it's when it's bright, it's inviting, it's warm, it's welcoming. So I always tell people to turn all their light fixtures on, all the lamps,
Open the shades
change their light bulbs if they're out,
and make them all the same, be it
shade of color.
the same shade of color.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves: don't give me daylight in one and soft white in the other.
Especially not in the same light fixture. Smell. Nothing turns me off worse than a bad smelling house
Especially if it smells like an animal.
or their droppings.
Yes.
Yes. And believe it or not, I know I'm a little different, but anyway, along with smell, a lot of times when I am working at a house, because I'm there, I'll do a lot of the work, I will cook there. So I have that smell. And then, I actually will feed any contractors. I'll feed whoever's helping me. I'll feed whoever's there. And
I will not.
I know.
That's funny. I've done baking the cookies, though, for an open house before.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can just put cinnamon in a little dish and put it in the oven, and you don't even have to bake the cookies. If you don't want to bake the cookies, you haven't heard that trick?
No.
I'll do that. But to me, when you cook in a space, it brings it alive. It's just you
It does
smell
make
that.
it feel like home.
It does. It really, really does. And believe it or not, you can ask all my contractors, especially on a Friday. They know. I'm usually cooking for them.
You also find out what's wrong with the house a lot of times when you go to cook.
It is so true. So true.
So contractors are always smoking on the job and in the house after I ask them not to. So finally, I decided to come up with a compromise. And I told them that they can smoke in the house up until the point of painting. Because painting smells a lot. There's nothing better than the smell of fresh paint in the house. So once we start painting, if they smoke in the house, I will hang them to the wall.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than walking into what you feel like is a brand new house and having it reek of smoke.
Yeah, that smell. And the thing is, it's not like they can hide it or cover it up.
No,
We're gonna know.
And it lingers, yeah.
Yes, I agree. And also we can go on to sound. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Always to have some soft music in the background.
Wordless music helps too, so that people don't feel inclined to listen to the words over you.
And taste.
I always like to leave at least candy out, if not cookies, or even a healthy snack is nice these days.
I like chocolate.
Yeah, I do too. give
too.
me some sugar.
Me too.
And last but not least, touch. Hug all of your clients. I'm just kidding. Hug everyone that walks in your door. No, I like to leave them a flyer or something to go home with that has information on the house that they can refer back to later. And it should definitely include photos because they've been to probably 20 houses that day and they won't remember yours just by address alone.
They're gonna remember ours.
One time we put an alligator head in the refrigerator on
I
a
know
flip.
that house.
Just for fun. Just for fun. Just so people would remember it. It was an alligator head that you would get from a tourist shop.
Florida?
Yeah, in Florida. But it was a life-size, full grown alligator, not a baby gator. And we had it just sitting in the refrigerator so that when people, it's a brand new refrigerator, they always open them up, see what's in there. Bam, alligator head.
And can I ask, how did that go?
Great. We sold the house for asking.
How many comments did you get on the alligator head?
Not as many as we got on the topless picture that was hanging in the living room.
Aha. This was an interesting sell. huh?
Listen, my philosophy is that a crooked sign catches more attention than a straight one. They're going to remember these houses.
So did the alligator head go with the house? Did they write that into the contract?
You know, I was like, do not forget the alligator head. We have to take it with us. And I don't think we did. I think it got sold with the house, but not in the contract, just by,
Omission.
yeah, yes.
So funny story. One of the houses that we did, when it was being inspected, the guy went into the crawl space under the house, and the previous owner left one of those Halloween skeletons. He lost his mind. It was like the biggest thing on Facebook for like 6 months because he didn't know if it was real or fake.
Oh, my goodness. That's a good way to scare them.
Yeah.
We should do that to Terrell next time he acts up.
Go
look
to the
under-
crawl space.
Go look under the house.
That's going to be you.
That's what we do with the last contractor that crossed us.
Just kidding. Please help us with our houses. I love this topic about the five senses. I'm really passionate about it because it's so logical. It only makes sense. And I love anything that you just can't argue with any aspect of it. You need to appeal to every aspect of a person's being. And our senses are how we interpret the world. So it's important to execute every single one of them properly. So pay attention to all five senses, please, when you are selling your homes.
I agree.
Wendy, thank you so much for joining us today. You are an inspiration to women everywhere.
Well, thank you so much. I hope I live up to that.
You definitely do.
Thank you.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
So, Alex, after the break, we're going to talk color choices, talk a lot about color. Color is very important, and just a few other odds and ends as far as the interior. Would you like the Fixin' Vixens take on your own home project? You can upload a video to show us your specific home issue, and Annie and Alex will respond in kind using the RViddy app. But first, all you need do is visit Vixen/Vixens/connect and subscribe. Maybe we'll also have you on a future show. So, Alex, let's go back to our RViddy submission.
Overall, I think her house would do the best with a cleanup,
Definitely.
not sharing the dining room with the cat.
Declutter, declutter, declutter.
Yeah,
You're allergic to cats.
I am.
So what would happen to you if you walked into that house?
I'd have an allergic reaction.
Right.
So she should declutter, she should clean, and she should paint. That small kitchen upstairs really needed to be painted because it was too distracting for the eye. I think people would be focused on the fact that that wasn't painted and they couldn't enjoy the house.
Well, even the fact that it was partially painted.
Right.
It looks like somebody started to paint that white ceiling and stopped.
Yeah.
They just thought about it and never got back to it. So definitely, I mean, the simple things. Clean, declutter. Oh, and address, the smell also. I bought a property that I had to hold my breath to go in, even to see it.
And you probably got a price reduction because of that.
I did. No one else wanted to tackle that smell.
Yeah. So if we want to avoid turning our buyers off, we should maybe make the presence enjoyable for them.
It's got to be inviting.
Yes.
I mean, that's common sense. And Alex, I actually loved that mural of the mountains in the boys' bedroom.
But it's
I
got to
know.
go because people can't have, somebody else might not want that mural,
I know.
unfortunately.
I know. It does have to go.
And on that topic, let's go into paint colors and what color she should paint it.
Well, let's go with what she did wrong. The fact that she has so many colors and distinct colors that all kind of run into each other and just kind of bombard you when you walk in the door.
It's not wrong. I see a lot of people do that. but
if you're selling.
Yeah, it's wrong for selling. It's not appealing to the masses.
And I must admit, I like all of my colors to kind of blend and go into one another.
Well, that's actually why fast food restaurants have bright colors is because it subconsciously annoys people.
So they'll get their food and get out.
Exactly, exactly.
We want our potential buyers to hang
Yeah,
around.
we want them to feel at home.
Yes, and very welcome.
Yes.
So talk about your philosophy with color.
Agreeable. Make sure it's agreeable, AKA agreeable gray.
Well, I think we've said this before. We both independently picked gray. And I say I was gray before gray was cool, which actually it is a cool color.
It is a cool color.
As opposed to a warm color. It is
Yes,
a cool color.
and actually, I was just going to talk about how sometimes gray can have a blue base to it, and I hate that. I think that people don't, when you see it on a small swatch, it's hard to see that it's going to have that blue undertone to it. So that's why I always just go with agreeable gray. It's a tan-based gray and the best gray that's available, in my opinion. And it's really important that you have continuity throughout the house.
Well, and that's it. If you make that first decision up front and then you don't have to think about it again, you're choosing one paint.
Yes.
So you don't have to make all of those decisions.
Now, sometimes if you're leaving something that you don't want to replace and it forces you to go with a color scheme, I typically like to stick within the same scheme per room.
And it's a lot of what I did with the church, and I've done with so many properties. Sometimes if there is so much of one color, even if it wasn't my color choice, I'll go ahead and stay with that color because there would be so much to repaint and so much to cover.
And that's what's so great about agreeable gray is that it is a tan-based gray instead of being a blue-based gray, so you can actually mix it with brown colors. It looks great up against original wood trim.
Yes, yes. And I picked up on that one too.
I actually saw a new construction house the other day that had 2.5 bathrooms. One of the bathrooms was tan, everything, and the other two were beautiful white and gray mixes. And I just have no idea why, with all the options that are out there, why somebody would choose to do a tan bathroom on one floor and then gray bathrooms in the same new construction house. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Could have been a man. Poor men. They think they know.
Well, and Alex, since we're talking about the walls, we can talk about windows. Ooh. And one thing that we definitely agree on, and that is
Blinds.
Blinds. White. Although
White.
I've had to use brown.
I will never let her use brown again.
I had to. It was a huge project, and all the trim was brown, and I did not want to have to repaint everything. So I had to, but
See, I still like white blinds with brown trim because I think it pops the window still.
yeah, there was a lot going on. But anyway, my number one choice, and I know your number one choice, is white blinds.
And you don't have to use the 2-inch faux wood blinds. Sometimes if I have old windows in a house, I'll put those $7 cordless blinds that they now sell at any major home store. I'll put those in the window to cover up the fact that it's an old window and try to hide it.
And I don't know about you, but I have tried to save blinds before, and it's a nightmare. And they're cheap enough that it's easier just to go ahead and replace them, and nothing. When you walk in, and if you have just bent or dirty blinds, it's not worth it. Take it from me. I've tried to do that. It doesn't work.
If you're gonna try to do it, you have to fully pull the cord all the way down or open the blinds so that they are condensed and tightened all the way before taking them out. Otherwise, that's how people ruin the blinds when you are removing them. Like if you're going to paint or something, you have to pull the string all the way down, tighten the blinds, and then remove them.
Blinds 101 in removal. Yes.
Yeah.
Because if not, it will just all come out, and then they get all bent. And
Or they get out of place and you can't fish one blind back into the bunch. That's not happening.
yeah, that's a nightmare.
That's when you just go a little off of space and throw them in the dumpster.
Well, and another thing that we can cover with windows is something that we kind of disagree on, and that is window
Curtains.
treatments. Curtains. I like curtains. I like the texture. I like the added colors. I like design. And I know if you rarely do curtains.
I was going to say, I'm not against curtains, but if I do curtains, I'm not doing a pattern. I'm doing a solid color that pops
Right.
because it looks really good in photos. They do look good in photos.
Yes.
I just like a solid.
Well, with me, in my travels, if I see a curtain I really, really like, and it goes with my color scheme, I'm going to buy that curtain. And if it's on clearance. I'm going to buy that curtain, and I have always used them. I still have a few, but I actually like, to me, well, they do a couple of things too, other than adding color, more color, pattern. Also, for the heat conservation, to keep the sun out, to keep the heat in. So I like them for that reason. I like them for that reason too.
I might add them in a house I have because of that. It's a good idea.
Yeah, in older homes, when it's so drafty, those curtains help. And then they also help to keep the sun out. So
Sometimes we compromise with just a single color pattern curtain for Annie's houses.
usually I put that pattern in there. I'll sneak it in. I think I do. I have lots of patterned curtains. Well, all over.
Bedspreads, pillows.
It's true. I like the pattern and you like more of just the plain. It's true.
I'm plain Jane.
Actually, but we switch roles on that a lot because you like pop and I like more calm.
It's a subtle pop, solid pop.
Yes. You like adding that pop, and I do more of a blending when it's stuff like that, whereas you want the pop.
I'm loud. Houses are too. If you'd like to show us your home issues, please do so by visiting us online. You can learn how to download the RViddy app and show us your video.
We can't wait to see. And also subscribe and leave us some reviews.
# we're the best.
Next week, the Fixin Vixens head to the kitchen. Do you want to enhance your cooking or hosting space? Or maybe you have a rental or flip in desperate need of a kitchen remodel. The Fixin Vixens have lots of cost-saving solutions. Plus, check out our social media links for some practical and inexpensive projects to tackle right now. Annie shows you how to clean your HVAC filter, and Alex offers her tips on painting your front door. So please do subscribe and share a review. We're here to help make your day productive. The Fixin Vixens podcast is made possible with support from Murphy and Associates. Learn more at LouisvilleFirm.com. Our hosts are Annie McMichael and Alex Bolton. Music provided by Louisville's very own Mama Said String Band. Produced by Fixin Vixens and Nightport Media. Special thanks to Elaine Appleton Grant and Podcast Allies. Executive produced and edited by me, Janice Jensen.